The Prism, the Govee Permanent Outdoor Lights Prism, installed and using the PermTracks. These things are awesome. We got Dairon here from Silicon Valley Lights, and we got the PermTracks right here. These are awesome tracks, aka RACEWAY, for your Govee Permanent Outdoor Lights. And these are designed for the pros, so the spacing is a little bit shorter, but we got the new Prisms here with the new Prism pucks right there. And we're gonna adapt these tracks to fit the Prism lights, and let's just see how easy it is to modify these tracks, because one of the selling points of these tracks is that they're very flexible in terms of installation, easeability. You can cut them to size if you need them to be a little shorter and have more tight spacing if you want your lights to be more close together. And in this case, we're modifying the tracks that are designed for the Pro lights to fit the Prism lights. And you might not think you need to do this, because when you buy the tracks, you'll get the ones that are designed for the Prisms right off the bat. Of course, right? But say next year, Govee releases the Prism Pros or Prism 2 or whatever, then you might need to do this and be able to cut them and adapt them to size. And we're gonna see how easy it is to cut these. So these are not your typical tracks that you would get at your hardware store. These are tracks that are designed to be used outdoor. They withstand the weather, yet they're still quite flexible so that you can cut them and be able to do this while you're up in your installation area on the ladder. So that's super important, is being able to make modifications. All right, we're gonna use the Fantic cutoff tool here. Love this little power saw. Cut through right there. There you go. Nice. Nice.
All right.
Sweet. Now we gotta cut along the edge, huh?
Yeah.
A little bit trickier. All right. Ooh, nice. Just a little bit there. Should be able to take care of that by hand. Looks very good, very clean.
So now this can just fit.
Oh yeah, perfect fitting for the Prism pucks right there. Again guys, you don't need to be cutting your PermTracks, just get the ones for the Prism, which we got on order. They'll be here next week, but we just couldn't wait. We got the Prism pucks, but the Prism tracks weren't quite ready yet, so we got DIY the Pro tracks to fit the Prism, and you can see how easy it was to cut these to size. And that's the beauty of these really flexible tracks. So we'll be able to now butt that one up against another track like that. And of course, this one over here, we have to do the same cut, but you can see how now the lights will sit in. The idea is that you can install the tracks and the lights without the cover, and you can go back and put the cover in later. But right now, we're just test fitting it with the cover, as you can see right there. And just making sure it fits. Our handiwork right there, done by Dairon. Very good, very nice cut.
Yeah, I think,
you want to take off the puck?
I think we're gonna have to remove this little section right here.
Yeah, I think for the production version of the tracks, they might either remove that completely or have a lower profile padding. The nice thing about the padding is that it's designed to have some place for you to stick the lights on. Actually, you can just peel this off and stick it on, huh? Well, actually, this one is kind of recessed in. So
yeah,
you would technically want to have some kind of padding for this to stick on, because it won't reach.
Yeah,
right?
but I think this is like, it's a very tight fit. I think it's meant to just like sit in there snug, so
okay,
it's not going anywhere.
Gotcha. Nice. All right. Prism track with the Prism puck. So if you're wondering what is the Prism puck, it's this material right here. It's a 3D printed piece, and that's what makes everything look so clean when you put it on the track. See, you have the covers that's going to cover your wires, and look at how clean that installation is. Yes, you can install the Govee Prism lights however you like, but you gotta admit, with the track, it just makes the professionalism and the quality of install up like 10 notches. Like, that looks so good. See, no concerns about HOA complaining about these are holiday lights, take them off because the holidays are over. No, these are permanent outdoor lights, and they are going to be perfect for all year round. So we want to make it look like a permanent installation. This does it. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, everything looks great here. This definitely just really enhances the look and makes it look a lot more professional and clean, which is, you know, you don't want the wires all over the place. And even if you do your best job at making sure those wires are nice and straight, it's sometimes it can be an eyesore for some people. So I think this looks amazing. You know, everything here just looks so high tech. You know, the new Prism lights, the new pucks, and just, you know, we just cut this thing. It took a minute to cut, and now we just have this beautiful look that's ready to go.
I love it. Technically, do you think we still need the wood, or can we just rafter whatever matches up with the rafter?
We can just screw it in wherever we'd like here.
Heck yeah.
That's the beauty of these, that you can just screw it in wherever you'd like, and it doesn't matter where you put the screw because you're just not going to be able to see it. So
yes, even if the screw happens to be right underneath here, there's tolerance for it.
Right.
Cool.
So okay.
Well, now we still gotta do a couple more cuts, and then we'll have the lights ready, and we'll actually install it on our eave and see how these Prism lights look with the tracks. So Dairon is going up there to kind of size up the installation. We're just gonna install it on our eaves. You can see how we had the previous Govee Permanent Outdoor Lights Pro installed using a slab of wood. That's the second best way to install it if you don't want to invest in the tracks. Ideally, they give you the optimal spacing and the best installation footing, but they are a little bit of an eyesore when you look at them. Of course, you can paint them, but then that's more work. The PermTracks, you can actually paint too, but I like the look as they are, even without painting, because they look like a finished product bare without paint. Whereas if you use the wood, you definitely want to paint it for a more finished look. And if you paint the PermTracks, definitely finished look even better. Anyway, so you're just gonna measure out how many PermTracks we need up there. And the nice thing about the PermTracks is, you see their spacing for the rafters. We will actually be able to install the PermTracks, bolt them, or rather screw them on directly to where the rafters are. And that way we save from having to have that piece of wood. So we're gonna see how well that works. I imagine it's gonna work pretty well, but it is our first time installing it, but he's a pro, so we'll see how he decides to do it. But yeah, the Govee Permanent Outdoor Light Pros have been great. Can't wait to see how the Prisms look, especially with the PermTracks. Now, if you guys are thinking about installing the PermTracks or ordering the PermTracks, I advise you use the link down below, grab them ASAP, because there's only one batch that's going to make it for this holiday season. And if you don't get in that one batch, it will not make it to you for this holiday season. And if you want to install it yourself, it will be quite easy. It's a DIY friendly type of installation. But if you want a professional install and you're in the area, that's where Dairon, our friend from Silicon Valley Lights, will be able to help you out. So we're just laying down the lights right here. We have the right length for the eaves. So basically, we'll be able to fit 1, 2, 3 tracks, which is 2 lights and 1 at the peak of the eaves. And that will be how we're gonna mount these up on the eaves. So we'll do a little bit more cutting because, again, we have to modify these Pro tracks for Prism lights installation. Tracks cut like butter. Easy. Like that. And then we'll be able to trim the sides over there. So you guys can use a rotary tool or even pliers, but we find that pliers, if you snap them the wrong way, they might split the tracks. So a little bit easier if you have like a rotary tool, like the Sandpick M10 Ace that we're using there. Works real nice for cutting these PermTracks. There we go. Modification complete. Looks good. So the nice thing about the PermTrack is you guys can decide how you want to space between the lights. So these PermTracks, being designed for the pros that we're modifying, actually have a little bit tighter spacing because pro Govee outdoor lights are spaced a little bit closer than the Prism lights. So we'll see how that looks. And it's really a personal preference. If you want to have a lot of lights, then you can space them a little bit closer. If you like the original spacing, then you can do that too. So we're gonna have a little bit tighter spacing, and that actually works out really well for our eave because it allows us to have 2 lights on one eave and 1 at the peak, which I think is perfect. Otherwise, we might not fit as many lights on the eaves. And the flexibility of these PermTracks is if you need tighter spacing, you just simply cut the PermTracks and you can fit the lights with tighter spacing. And then if you have, when you have a tighter spacing, you'll have excess wire that you'll be able to hide underneath there. Obviously, this is just a lone perm light. We haven't unboxed our complete kit yet. We just use one sample right there just to start to size up the PermTrack. But we have the kit that we'll install in just a bit. Cutting the top part of the track to fit just like that. Nice, easy cut right there. Oh, just a little bit more. Boom. So we're sizing up the PermTracks to fit right under our eaves. And this is a little bit non-conventional because I'm gonna leave the Govee Permanent Outdoor Lights Pro there while installing the Prisms so that I can do a comparison, because I do like to see how the Prisms look compared to the Pros. And as we expect, the tracks make it easy to install and just kind of slide along to wherever you want to attach it to the rafter, and there's no need to have the wood. All right, let's see what we got here. Ooh, the tracks are installed. I mean, I took a break. I went for a cup of coffee, came back, and this guy got a lot of it installed. How's everything looking, Dairon?
Everything's looking really good. You know, in comparison to this wood trim installation method, it's just night and day. I mean, it's just super easy to put on. The time that I've spent putting these tracks on versus, the wood is just substantially less, and it's just so much more convenient. Even with the rafters, we did have to use some double-sided tape to hold these on to each track, so these tracks are held on together. But once you bolt everything in and you put the pucks on and you put these covers on, it just really improves the structural integrity of the track, and it just makes everything so seamless. So I'm really happy with the way it's turning out, and it just looks so clean.
It does look good. It looks really nice. I love them so much better than the wood trim, and I don't even think it needs to be painted. It looks so good already, but of course we can paint them to match the color of the house for even more seamless installation, huh?
Yeah, we can, if you wanted to go that route, these are ready to go for paint, so that would be an option. But sometimes less speaks more, and right now the white just looks so clean with the black, right? Yeah, exactly, with the black on the lights, and everything just looks really great. I'm really happy with the way everything is looking so far.
Excellent. So you've installed Prism lights before, right?
That's right, yeah.
So would you recommend them installed with the tracks or without the tracks?
Looking at it in person, I think with the tracks would just be the go-to. It's just the best way to go. I mean, you cannot compare the look of the exposed wires to a nice, clean, professional track. So my recommendation for those who just want the absolute best of the best, whether it's looks, durability, all that, I think the tracks are the way to go.
Nice, yeah. And even the Pro lights right there, they look old compared to the new Prism lights too. The Prism lights look so modern and, like you said, technically advanced, right?
That's right, yeah. I mean, the look with the Prisms and the, you know, these Pro lights that have been out for a few years now, it just looks so sophisticated, and it's really cool. I mean, it just adds to the whole effect.
Wow, well, I won't bug you. I'll let you finish up the install. You're doing a fantastic job. I love how it looks. By the way, this is Dairon from Silicon Valley Lights. If you want him to do your installation, he's around the Bay Area. Drop the code UTECHPIA and he'll save you 15% off your installation. And these tracks, there's only one batch that are coming out for this holiday season from our friend Jacob at PermTrack. Grab them before they're gone, because if you don't order them now, there's absolutely no chance of getting them before Christmas time this year. So take a look at the links in the description to get this guy to install your lights and to get these tracks in your lighting system. And the lights are on. I know it's bright outside, but look how clean these Prism lights look with these PermTrack. These PermTrack are beautiful. They can be painted, but I mean, just looking at them right now, you can see the wires are all hidden and there's no wood to have to use, and it just looks so clean with these lights underneath there running through the tracks. A very professional job, easily done, much easier to install with the tracks than without the tracks. But we'll wait until nighttime to see the effect of the lights. But I wanted to show you how they look, because see, when you have the loose wires, it's just messy, and then you have to really tug the wires to get them to look decent. Whereas with the tracks, you don't even have to worry about the wires because they're just underneath the track. It looks very, very good, and the installation was a snap. The quality of the tracks is awesome too. I saw the installer was drilling directly onto it without pre-drilling, and it did not split or crack. So really high quality PermTrack, love them. These things look fantastic.